Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Renew Your Mind podcast. I hope you guys are doing great. You've had a wonderful week so far. So, today we have another special guest. Woo! So, this is Kome. Kome, I'll allow her to introduce herself. So, please let the audience know who you are, anything you would like us to know about you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Hi, Mo.
Hi.
Um, I am a Christian.
Yeah.
I am in the business of people, so a lot of the
Yeah.
things that I do outside of or not even outside, within my 9 to 5 are people related.
Yeah.
Um, I enjoy Asian dramas. I
Yeah.
love learning new languages, trying new foods.
Yeah.
I love a good puzzle, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm a subtitle girl, so if you watch shows or TV things without subtitles, I'm judging you a little bit because
I'm
how do you
done.
know? How do you know what's going on if you can't read? Do you know what I mean? Like it's really important. And
Yeah.
accessibility, those kinds of things, but definitely a subtitle
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Um, I love the weather. I love
Mm.
hot weather very specifically. Like I know we live in
Okay.
Canada and we're supposed to
Yeah.
love the cold and embrace winter and all that, but
Mm.
with that, I'm a spring, summer girl.
Yes.
Um, and I think the clothes that I like also reflect that.
Yeah.
I'm really into getting dressed when one
Mm.
can as
Yes.
well. Looking and feeling your best.
Yes.
I think navigating, the different seasons of life in that way. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit of this and that, but in
Yeah.
general, I feel like I'm just a girl. I'm just a
I'm
girl.
just a girl. That's it. I love that. Literally, I'm just a girl.
Just a girl.
And thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And that's some of the reasons why you're here today to talk about today's topic, right? So it's about living a wonderful life, living an abundant life. So living life with wonder about the things that are around you and just living life to the fullest, right? So yeah, we'll get to that bit. But one of the things we always like to do with our guests is we like to ask them, what is one thing or one resource that you are currently using in this season to renew your mind?
Hmm.
Any-
What? That sounds very odd, maybe to some people, but I
Okay.
think because we are in such a digital visual age, I've
Hmm.
been finding a lot that like going back to words, whether that's reading
Hmm.
a book or switching from Instagram to Substack,
Yes.
um, getting back
Oh.
to actual, you know, pen and
Yeah.
paper in
Yeah.
that way. It's been really helpful to sort of switch my mindset around a lot of things, help me process things a little better.
Yeah.
Um, Getting your ideas from digital mediums versus like word based mediums has been a really interesting shift for me.
Hmm.
I think it helped me process
Yeah.
slower,
Yeah.
honestly, because I have
Yeah.
to reread what does that actually mean? And then I'm also asking myself, how do I interpret that? Where does my
Yeah.
idea about this thing come from?
Yeah.
And so whether that's reading essays about, women in work or how we
Hmm.
manage suffering, I think it does a lot to help me sort of understand myself and
Yeah.
myself in relation to the world, right? Without having
Hmm.
someone else sort of interjecting their ideas in like 5 to 10 minute clips
Yes.
about who they think I should be. I can sort of just read and then try
Wow.
and interpret, like reading comprehension, like we used to do in school,
Yeah.
right? I can
Yes.
read and I'm, okay, what does this actually mean? What does this
Yeah.
word mean? How does it apply in this context?
Yeah.
Um, just getting back to words, I think, has been really helpful in this season versus
Yeah.
getting visual or audio content.
Like stimulation, that's an awesome thing that you brought up, because even just thinking about it, so a while back we have a podcast episode with like one of the professors at the U of A, like I interviewed him a few years ago, and we spoke about misinformation and the ability to critically think. And it
Mm,
seems like in this day and age is something that we're losing a little bit of. It feels like most people want to be kind of quickly stimulated, like videos, give me the videos, tell me what it is I should think and how I should think, versus let me
mhm.
actually look at the information myself and decide, okay, what opinion am I taking out of this? Let me
Yeah.
be able to decipher for myself what can I gather from this, right? And it's
Mm,
the fast age, microwave age, right? And it's scary because it seems like we're just getting further and further down that realm of pull your brain on pause. Let me tell you what to think. Actually, this is how
mm,
you should. And AI is not helping. Like AI is a tool that you can use to help. She's like, let's not get into it. Because the way AI is just, I'm just like, so you don't want to do anything at all? Like, yes, it's supposed to make life
Mm.
easier, but not come
Yes.
and completely just,
Replace
like,
your brain. Yeah.
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 So, no, that was a very great point. So, thank you for bringing that up. That was amazing. All right. So as I said, you mentioned in your introduction that you're someone who lives life fully, and I kind of admire that about you, and I see that, and that's one of the reasons why you were invited on the podcast today. So the title is "Living a Wonderful Life," right? So
Mm.
not wonderful the word, but wonder, and then full, FULL. So a life that
Yeah.
is full of wonder. You're living a life that you are in amazement at the world around you. You're taking in the sights, you're smelling the flowers, you're being deliberate about connecting with the people around your culture, languages, and things like that. So I love that, and for those who know Coco goes outside, you say, oh, you're not really much of a travel girly, but kind of talk us through some of the things that help you to enjoy your life. That what does that look like to you, right? Living that wonderful life.
I think the definition of a full life has definitely changed as I've aged, right? I
Mm,
think when you're a teenager, a full life looks like having autonomy and money
yeah,
and no
yeah.
parental control. And so then when you go to uni, it's this wonderful life where you're like, well, for those who maybe were able to go, like, leave home for that experience,
Yeah.
you're sort of like in charge of everything. And you're like, okay,
Mhm.
I can create this
Hmm.
life for myself. But I think
Yeah.
even at that point, it's hard to know authentically to yourself what a full life is. Like,
Yeah.
I think maybe when I was younger, a full life looked like being able to, date who I wanted and go where I wanted to
Mhm.
go and
Mhm.
buy and wear the things that I wanted to wear.
Yeah.
But I think as you sort of experience different things in life, you move through different phases, different seasons.
Yeah.
Um, there's an understanding that a full life is authentic to you. It's not
Yes.
necessarily what you are seeing from other people or online or even internally, like what you hear at home is a full life. There are some
Yes.
people, for them, they grew up in homes where a full life is you go to school, you get married, you have two kids, and that in
Mhm.
itself is the richest life that you can have. And I
Yes.
don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's
Yeah.
just really assessing, like, what is a wonderful life to me, and
Yes.
allowing yourself to change.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's a bit of you feel a bit of a self betrayal, like, oh, but I really wanted that before, and I don't
Yes.
think I want that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's okay. That's kind of why you're a human being, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're allowed to learn and develop, and I
Yeah.
think now for me, a wonderful life often looks like being true to myself.
Mhm.
Um, Traveling is something that I wanted to do for a very long time. I think, like, I probably should have started doing that a lot more in my 20s. But
Yeah.
in my mind at that time, I think a wonderful life was like being at home with my
Mm.
family and going to
Yes.
work and church. And that was sort of the biggest life I could imagine for myself, which kind of sounds a bit sad right now. But in that time, it wasn't really that,
Yeah.
it didn't really feel like there was that much else outside of the world. You know what I mean? I think there
Yeah.
was a lot of wonder and amazement in my current life that I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I really do enjoy this. But I
Yeah.
didn't really give myself a chance to dream, or even if I
Mm.
did dream, to action
Yes.
that, to be like,
Yes.
oh, actually, I would really love to go to Korea one day or South Korea one day. And
Yes.
even though I had the capacity to do that, I think I was
Yeah.
so maybe low key like pink lensed about
Rose-colored glasses.
rose-colored glasses, thank you, about what
Mhm.
I was living, that I was like, "Oh, that's okay, like, I'll get to that."
Yeah.
Not I could really live that life in the moment,
Yeah.
um, and so a lot of the times, having wonder isn't necessarily like a material thing, but I think it's a mental thing as
Yes.
well. You can
Mm.
be fascinated by the world around you, like, even when you go
Yeah.
out, like, when you see people, are you curious about their lives? Are you
Yeah.
curious about how certain things get to certain places, why systems are in place? I think a lot of that is a mental posture. Some people
Yeah.
say a heart posture, even,
Yeah.
of like, why is the world this way? Where are
Yeah.
my interests in this world? Where are my values? How do they land?
Yeah.
Um, and honoring those. I think it's easy to say that I want to
Mhm.
have a particular kind of life, but being able to action it, and that's
Yeah.
something that I'm still learning too as well.
Yeah.
Like, there are many ways that I think my life can be rich and
Mhm.
full, wondrous, but if I'm not actively working
Yeah.
towards that, I may
Yeah.
never see the fulfillment of that, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
um, we ought to give ourselves the chance
Mm-hmm.
to live that life.
Yeah.
I know that it can be hard to sort of like action some things. Like even I'm still learning how to
Yeah.
action sort of those
Implement.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can put it on the Pinterest board. You can put it on
Mhm.
your prayer board, whatever board you want to use,
All the boards.
on all the boards. But unfortunately, that wonderful life will never. I think I used to think that like that wonderful life would find me where I was.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
like it would just come to me. But a lot of
Yeah.
the time, you have to step out and
Yeah.
build life for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that's also part of building that life is that you play an active part
Yeah.
in that in
Yeah.
that whole life. Like it's not just gonna for some people it does just materialize like that. There's a aspect of
Mm.
luck in that way too, who you're born to, where you live, who your friends
Yeah.
are. There's an aspect of
Definitely.
luck I think that can impact your experiences of wonder in life and
Yeah.
goodness and richness. But
Yeah.
a lot of it I think the regular person just has to build.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No, and it's so you I feel like you encapsulated it so beautifully that sometimes we have to get to a point where you make those deliberate steps. Like they
mhm,
say life can either happen to you or life can happen for you, right? So being
mhm,
deliberate and realizing and sometimes it's just a series of our lives, a series of steps and actions, building a habit, building a mindset that then becomes our lifestyle, right? So
mhm,
sometimes you just need one decision you take, being very conscious, living a conscious life where you're like, okay, before this is kind of how the status quo has been going. I realized that, I was just kind of coasting, or this was what I thought the fullness of life could be. But then something came, there was a switch, something happened, and I realized, well, no, I've changed. Like this, but now there's a certain level of dissatisfaction I'm getting at this
mm,
point. So you can either turn that dissatisfaction into like murmuring and like, oh, blah blah blah, and then that's where social media comes in. You're like comparing with what other people are doing, and like, oh, they're living a full life for themselves, right? But then it's like, well, no, let me stop and take stock of how I'm feeling internally. Why do I feel this way? Perhaps something needs to change. Is this is dissatisfaction, or where I
mhm,
am currently? What steps can I take to actually get to experience that fullness of life as well? So I think
mhm,
it's all it's like it's a consciousness, like coming to a decision, like, okay, now this is how I want things to go. And
exactly.
it's not that it's going to
Yeah.
happen automatically. As you said, we're
Mhm,
always learning. We're always learning, but at least you have this kind of awareness of, okay, I want to live my life with wonder. I want to enjoy what God has for me, the fullness of all that He's planned, right? And
mhm, yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. And one of the reasons why even this today's episode was kind of inspired by John 10:10, that says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, but I come that they may have life and have it abundantly. So it's
Mhm,
different to just have life, but to have life in abundance, right? That's really
mhm.
the key thing. That's where we're trying to get to. Yeah, so with that being said, one of the questions I have for you is, can you look throughout this year? 2025 is almost rounding up. What is one thing that you can say you've done this past year that has truly inspired you?
It's been the year has been. I don't know if I was telling you this. Like this is the year that I just felt like God, what's going on? What's happening?
Hmm,
Like I
that's
think
real.
a lot of things have been a bit topsy turvy and like
Yeah,
trying to figure life and work and all those kinds of things. But I think that
yeah.
something that I have done that has inspired me is that I think I've been a lot more honest
Hmm.
about what I want out of
Yeah.
life.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm, So last year, I think I took a lot of time to be like, actually, no, I don't know what I want. At this
Hmm.
big age, I don't really know what I want. Let me just do anything that, comes to
As it
mind.
go, as it
Let's
they go, we they go. Hey.
we'll get to the destination. You know what I mean? Let's just do and see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
And I think that gave me some time to sort of rest and recalibrate. But I think it also brought a sense of like, am I being honest about the life that I
Hmm.
want to live? Like,
Yeah.
where do I want to be? What impact do I want to make? What things are important to me? And I think
Yeah.
being more honest this year about actually, this doesn't really serve me. or if
Yes.
I continue to do these things, I may not actually get the outcome that I am desiring. And
Yeah.
sometimes that is a conversation that leads to change, but also sometimes it's an acceptance thing. Like, this thing may not actually have the outcome that I think it will, and I'm
Say.
okay with that. Like, there's
Yeah.
another reason for why I'm doing it, or there's another connection
Yeah.
somewhere down the line. But I think just
Yeah.
being honest about, like, okay, is what I'm doing serving me? And being
Yeah.
honest with people that are around me also, so that they can
Yeah.
keep me accountable to the
Yeah.
fact that, like, this thing that you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
how does it, based on what you said,
Yes.
it's not aligning. And I think the
Hmm.
level of vulnerability that comes when we're sort of building our lives and having people be a part of that and being in community, to be like, okay, actually, if I'm
Yes.
trying to build this life that I think is good for me, I have
Yeah.
to involve people. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you appoint people as the stewards or the captains of your own ship, but there is
Yes.
an accountability that comes with community when you're like, okay, actually, this is who I want to be when we're
Hmm.
together.
Yeah.
And you have to invite people to keep you accountable, to say, this is who you said you were going to be.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
doing things that don't make sense or don't
Hmm.
align, they should
Yeah.
be able to pull you to order to be like, actually, this isn't who you said you were going to be. And so I
Yeah.
think for me, something that has inspired me is that it hasn't been as painful as I
Hmm.
thought. I think vulnerability can be difficult. I think
Yes. Very much so.
as a Black woman, I think it is quite difficult to be vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
Um, but allowing myself to be open to people that care about me and
Hmm.
managing the fear that comes with that, like, how will they
Yeah.
view me? How will their perspective of me
Yes.
change?
Hmm.
Um,
Very
and
true.
trusting that they hold my best interest. And
Yeah.
so that's why they're giving me that feedback of, like,
Yeah.
this is the life that you want.
Yes.
And we're
Hmm.
holding you responsible for making the changes so that that actually materializes.
Happen.
Um,
Yeah.
and so it's been a learning process. I feel like it's something that will continue to go on over the next few years of just like,
Yeah.
like, maybe I don't want to. I always joke that, like, when I was in uni, I was just gonna be a housewife. Like, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a degree and I'm gonna be a housewife. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
I think my perspective of that has definitely changed. Housewives are working. They are working really hard. Oh God.
Wacky. Ah.
Oh
Almost
God. Oh no.
24 hours gonna save.
Ah, no, it's a
Oh
work.
God.
It's a real work. But I think knowing that, like, there are these iterations of who I have wanted to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
and settling into maybe a very different version
Yeah.
of myself outside of things that I
Yeah.
maybe dreamed when I was 17 or 25.
Yeah.
And having people see me or
Yes.
be seen,
Yeah.
um, has been quite, yeah, I think scary initially, and maybe it is still scary on some level, but
Hmm.
I've been pleasantly surprised by
Uh,
the outcome of having people be part of you building this wonderful life. So, like, not just
yeah.
visioning on your own, but having people vision for you as well, and be like, actually, I
Yeah.
think you would actually be better in this place or that place,
Yeah.
or where you
Yeah.
are is not serving you anymore. You need to move.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's been a very, yeah, I think the last year, that's been a big part of my self growth and
Yeah.
inspiration to sort of move things along, is that
Yeah.
people have dreamt greater for me than I think I've been able to dream for myself. And that is always, I think, a push to keep going.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing, and I feel like sometimes too, it's that. Yeah, no, I can't even add to that, girl. That's it. That's just that's it is. It is what it is. No, that's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here to share that. So in today's age, where we are always striving for the next stage, always going for the next level. We spoke about sometimes stopping to smell the roses, taking where you're currently at, the current stage, and just really being conscious and thinking, okay, is this serving me? Is this actually helping me to get to, the person that I would desire to be and the person that God needs me to be in this season? Because
Mm,
life is per season as well. I think sometimes we
yeah.
forget that. We're always just like, okay, go, 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 go. And person A's agenda or the timetable or skill that they're going through is not the same for person B. Sometimes we
Hmm.
have to take stock of our lives and look at, okay, what am I trying to achieve, right? But in today's age where everything is just kind of woof, added together and put it on posted on social media, and everyone's always rushing to the next stage to achieve something. How important is it, do you think, to balance the drive to achieve things and to tick off all those things on your goal list, on your bucket list, on your boards, your various boards? How important is it to balance that with actually truly enjoying our current seasons? Right. So not
Mm.
neglecting that this is where I am currently. So how can I make the best of it? But then this is where I'm trying to go. So how do we balance that?
My mom always says that self awareness is one of a
Mm,
man's greatest strengths.
yeah.
And so I think just being really self aware
Yeah.
of where you currently are,
Mm,
and valuing every season. I think
yeah.
sometimes there is a hierarchy of like, okay, like what I think I was listening to something recently that said that we have a picture of what success is.
Yes.
And I think we may have to learn to reimagine that.
Yeah.
Because for some
Yeah.
people, success in certain times or seasons is just being able to get up, honestly.
Mm,
Like it's
yeah.
just actually getting out of bed, having a shower. That
Yeah.
is really your success in the season that you are in because what you're
Yeah.
dealing with may be
Mm,
quite
heavy.
challenging,
Yeah.
honestly. And
Yeah.
so for you, getting out of bed, maybe even saying hello to one person is a win,
Mm.
right?
A win is a
And
win.
there are other times where success is really like doubling down. It's those late hours, it's putting in those
Yeah.
applications.
Yeah.
Um, and so knowing that my season cannot match yours and
Yeah.
that the paces of our lives are okay to differ. Like
Yeah.
you and I both have friends who maybe we were friends when we were in uni. Some people have married, they've had
Yeah.
children. Other people have
Mm.
gotten divorced, if remarried again. Like
Mm.
pace of our lives are
Yeah.
they cannot be the same, and it is
Yeah.
a level of grace and I
Absolutely.
think kindness that
Yeah.
sometimes we do have friends who are able to sort of walk in the same season at the same time. There's a
Yeah.
level of
It's a
grace I think we give
blessing.
in
Ah,
that time, but the majority of it is
yeah.
just exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know. So I think we also need to make a bit of peace with that and
Yeah.
maybe regulate the emotions that come with that because
Yeah.
it's not uncommon. You're not alone in feeling either behind or ahead.
Yes.
We always talk about,
Mm.
oh, I feel behind, but sometimes we also think about like people who have gone ahead of us and are like looking back, like, oh, where are my friends? Am I not in
Yeah.
the same place? And they also feel alone.
Yeah.
You know, like
Wow.
even the people who get married sometimes, they're like, oh, where are my friends aren't married, so we can't really all do the same. Although I think you can, but I'm just sharing an experience that I think people
As an
sometimes feel
example.
like my
Yeah.
friends, yeah, I've gone to a place where my friends are not.
Yes.
And they
Wow.
also feel alone in looking
Mm.
back and not seeing people that
Yeah.
they care about, right? So it's not
Yeah.
just, oh, I'm looking ahead. People are also looking back and being like, I
Yeah.
thought we would all be in the same place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So accepting that our seasons will move differently also takes pressure off of you to
Yes.
feel like I have to keep up with the Joneses in that
Mm.
way.
Yeah.
Everybody should cut their coats according to
According
their
to their
size,
size.
right? So
That's
maybe your friends are in their Santorini phase and you are in a, Vancouver phase.
yeah.
You can also have fun in Vancouver as
Yes.
you're enjoying in Santorini. You
Yes.
can have fun at home, even. There's
Mhm.
rice at home.
There is always rice at home.
So it's not really about, I think sometimes we want to show or overshow. And I think that's a very Nigerian thing. Like we like to put on. But
yes.
ultimately,
Very
enjoyment
much.
can be found anywhere.
Yeah. That's it.
Sure. And
That's it.
you doing enjoyment at home now doesn't mean that you won't enjoy in Thailand later.
Later.
But
Yes.
if you are not content with $1, you'll never be content with 100 million. So
Whew.
your contentment, it has to be built. It has to be present regardless of what you have, right?
Yeah.
And I think that really is a hard posture that takes time to learn. And
Yeah.
people often have been talking about, envy and jealousy and all these kinds of things. I think it's
Mm.
what to do with that.
Comparison. Yeah.
If you desire something and you see it,
Yeah.
it's kind of human to, be like, "Ah, why don't I have
Yeah.
that thing?"
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing to think or to feel.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
what you do with that feeling that I think ends up
Mm.
determining what the outcome is of that. Like if you
Yeah.
turn that into like malice or bad belly, or you go to God and you're like, God, this person does not deserve this thing. I deserve this thing. It's not going to really work out as well
That's
as we hope.
problematic.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
you think that, I'm like, okay, what does this mean? What is this? What is this emotion telling me?
Yeah.
Like, do I
Mm.
actually desire this thing? Should I be working towards this thing? Which is
Yeah.
why I know people talk about, oh, it's a bit of a problem that we see so many people's lifestyles on social media these days.
Yeah.
And I do
Yeah.
agree with that. I do think it breeds a level of discontentment, but I
Yeah.
also think that it shows you what is possible
Yes.
sometimes. I think
Yeah.
we don't dream as big as we should. And then
Yeah.
seeing people who have been able to achieve that can have a very positive effect on your ability to dream certain things or to be able to actually know what that's possible for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um, I think it is a balance. I think there are things that we need to aspire to and to work towards, but there are
Yeah.
also things that sometimes we have to accept that this is the lot that
Yeah.
maybe God has called me to.
To
There
yeah,
may
to
be
my
people I
lot in
don't
life for now.
for now, and even just
Yeah.
permanently. I think if we trust
Yeah.
that, if we are saying we trust the will of God, we
Mm.
also have to remember that there's some things that maybe God will not call us to. There's some
Yeah.
places we will never go, some
Yeah.
things we will never do within the will of God, specific, like speaking in that particular context, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that has to be okay,
Yeah.
right? If we trust Him, then we trust Him, and I think that can be really, even me that as I'm saying it now,
Mm.
God is helping us,
You the
but
amen, no.
but I think
Yes.
that our capabilities are endless, but
Yes.
we also have to wrestle with the idea that like there is a level of contentment we have to be okay with.
Yes.
There are persons or things that I may never be,
Yeah. Mm.
and how do I live my life in a good way
Yeah.
regardless of that, right? So
God bless with that. Yeah. Wow. Come on. A woman with a wealth of wisdom. Oh God, since she has lived and now she's here to share her nuggets. So you people,
I'm
you're welcome.
screaming, I'm
You're
screaming.
very welcome. But actually, sorry, when you were speaking, so for those who don't know, Vancouver is in British Columbia, Canada,
Mm,
and Santorini is a city in Greece. So just
correct,
wanted to
correct.
chip that in there. Yeah, so no, thank you so much for sharing. And I think when you were speaking, one of the things that popped in my mind was, yes, social media, it does inundate us with a lot of information. We see people's lifestyle. It's meant to inspire, or it should be a tool that we use in that sense. It's also how you use social media, but also
Hmm.
part of being conscious and taking ownership of your own life is if you find that something is maybe is causing you to have certain thoughts, then just mute, or just, mute button is your friend. You're able to do that. You don't always have to take everything that is being
And
thrown at you, right? There's
agreed.
ways that you can kind of siphon that and make sure that it's achieving the purpose that you need it to achieve for your life to be effective, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
no, that's amazing. All right, so I don't know if you've heard of this term, romanticize your life.
Mm.
Romanticize your life. What are your thoughts on this? I feel like you have a lot of really good things to share.
I mean, I think the concept comes from being, practicing gratitude and, like you've been
Yeah.
saying, kind of living in the moment, right? And
Yes.
being grounded in your
Mm-hmm.
current reality and not
Yeah.
essentially living in la la land. Like,
Mm.
like you can create that for yourself. Like, just
Yeah.
because your circumstance is an aesthetic or whatever, you
Yeah.
can essentially create the love and kindness that you're sort of trying to receive
Yeah.
in your own life. And I think the practice of being present in your own life is really important. Like
Yeah.
daydreaming is great, but we got to bring it back.
Yeah. In
Like if
moderation.
No, for real. Like if I am seeking to be loved and cared for and to be
Yes.
relaxed and to be locked in, like there are all these things that
Yeah.
I know that I can actively do to put
Mm-hmm.
myself in that space. So if I'm
Yes.
looking to practice a level of kindness with myself, so
Yes.
maybe I do take myself out on a date,
Yeah.
um, and
Mm-hmm.
and have good food and dress
Yeah.
up and do my makeup and all those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
I think some people feel like it's like you sort of pretending or faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think so. I think we only have one. Like people are always talking about, oh, what's your plan B? And I'm like, we're all living in plan A. There's really no plan B. Like this is it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ultimately, we are responsible. Like we can't really blame. Obviously there are circumstances that are outside of our control,
Yeah.
but for the things that within your control,
Yeah.
we are responsible for stewarding our time and our efforts and our feelings and our experience as well. So
Exactly.
if me going to dinner once a week helps my experience in this life be better, I should
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If me buying things that are within my budgets
Yeah.
helps my experience be better, I should do that. I may crave
Yeah.
things that are, more expensive or whatever, but
Yeah.
romanticizing my life is also matching those values to the
Yeah.
life that I want to live as well. It's not
Yeah.
just the bubble baths and the,
Mm.
manicures and stuff, but it's like stewarding my money well. It
Yeah.
is connecting in with community. It
Yeah.
is, going to therapy if I need to. It's
Yeah.
hearing from my friends. That is
Yeah.
romanticizing my life. It's not just dancing through the streets with, fluffy dresses and eat, pray, love, which is really great. Honestly, everybody should do that.
Yeah.
Everybody should
If
do it.
you want to do that, go do that.
Everybody should do it. But
Yeah.
it's also being a responsible adult,
Yes.
because to steward that kind
Empathy.
of life well, there needs to be levels of discipline and
Yeah.
structures and systems.
Yeah.
I find that honestly, the times that I'm able to most enjoy my life is when
Mm-hmm.
I've done all the things I need to do,
Exactly. Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like I can really relax and drop into like a softer version of myself when there
Yeah.
are not things to do and my mind is not rolling around. Oh, I need
Yeah.
to do that, I need to do this, I'm running late for that, all those kinds of things. So
Yeah.
romanticizing requires structure.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just lighting a candle in my bathtub and eating chocolates and all those kinds of things, but it's being a responsible adult and doing the things that I need to do so that I
Yeah.
can really enjoy my
Yeah.
life. And I don't think we should demonize people for wanting a
Yeah.
softer life, which I think is really what that is. It's like
Yeah.
not having spaces to
Mm.
release the hardness of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we always joke in church about like, life is hard. Life, God has called us to suffer and all those kinds of things. Sure, you are agree with that. Yeah. But as humans, I think we do crave spaces where we can just sort of release that,
Yeah.
and I think it's similar to how our body too can store stress,
Yeah.
and your shoulders are tense and your back is tight and you don't even know that
Yeah.
you're grinding your teeth. And
Exactly.
I think we innately crave ways to release that and to just sort of be like, you know what, actually, this is a person, not as a
Yeah.
product of a system that, just works and works and works and works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I encourage people to romanticize their life, whether that's like, having a nickname that your friends call you, or
Yeah.
having a favorite outfit that you wear, or
Yeah.
even just changing. Like, I know I have friends who their background wallpaper is a reflection of what they want
Mm.
to experience in that season. And so
Yes.
every time they open their phone, those
Mm-hmm.
feelings of, "Oh, actually, this is what I'm working towards," and kind of
Yes.
where I'm at. It's sort of there's a mental aspect
Yeah.
also to emphasizing your life. Like, even when things
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
sometimes for me, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
even things are hard. I'm just like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a girl.
I'm
I'm
just
just a
that's
girl getting
I'm
through it.
literally just a girl.
Just a girl. And I think sometimes that helps reduce the intensity of the emotion.
Yes. Yes, it
I'm just
does.
going through this life. I'm just trying to make it work. It's not as
Yeah.
serious. And life is already quite serious.
Exactly.
So
Oh my god.
just, you have to find the ways to sort of reduce
Yeah.
the level of gra gra that
Tension
you
in
take in
life. Yes, the level of
in
gra
your
gra. I
life.
like that. The level of
Like,
gra gra on a
sometimes you
daily
just be like,
basis.
you know what, actually, that has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take in everything so seriously. Something that's serious,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the level of stress that you will retain trying to take
Yeah.
everything so seriously will do damage
Yeah.
to your life.
Hmm.
And so I think that's also part of romanticizing your life too, is like,
Yeah.
do some side quests, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there are
Yeah.
things, little things you can do. If you want to
Yeah.
count beads, if you want to go for a walk and pretend you are Queen Elizabeth, like that's recipes, but you can do little things like that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
there's people that we know that are very serious, very serious. Not every day serious, right? Some
Not
days,
every day. Oh. I
some days be
beg.
a princess, some days be a king. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, just
Exactly.
about,
I love that.
just about.
Like not every day serious. Not be frowning, be bunny like
For
you okay?
what? Like,
Relax.
enjoy it. The sun is
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
There's like, there's sunshine on your face. Like, that is a reason to
Yeah.
sort of relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy life. That's it. I love it. Wise words. Okay, so our last question for today's
random.
episode, yeah. If you could tell your younger self something, right? So about
Mhm.
fully living and enjoying this life that God has given us, what would that thing be? So if you could go back and tell and younger self could mean yourself of last year, yourself of 10 years ago,
Mm.
20 years ago. So I know it's a very broad thing to say, but just kind of in this current season that you're in, what is one word you wish you could tell yourself about really living life fully, and living like a life of wonder?
I think wonder is everywhere. And I think reminding her that she plays a big part in experiencing that wonder. Like, you deserve to live a
Mhm.
wonderful life.
Yes.
And the life that you currently have is rich. But I
Yeah.
would really encourage her to dream outside of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
and it's not a one size fits all thing. So like
Yeah.
these ideas that you have of things that will fulfill you and make you happy,
Yeah.
all those things are multidimensional.
Hmm.
So don't be stuck on this is who I am or I can be. Like
Yeah.
there's so much outside of what you know. There are so many questions you haven't even asked yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Things that
Hmm.
you haven't seen. And I know that my younger self has a large or had a well, has had, I don't know, a larger sense of curiosity. And so I would really encourage her to lean into that. So like if you have an idea, try it
Yeah.
out. If you want to see
Explore it.
something, go and see
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
all this sort of waiting for permission to
Hmm.
do things and to dream things, it doesn't really
Yeah.
benefit you in the long run,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately you are responsible for fulfilling those desires for yourself.
Hmm.
God will help you do those things,
Yeah.
but he's not going to get you to the airport. He's
Yeah.
not going to get you to that job application. He's not going
Mhm.
to um well, maybe he might deliver something to your door. Who knows? We're still holding out hope on
Eh.
that. But you have to play a part. Like it's
Yeah.
you can dream up here and you're really good at that.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to really do the things.
Yeah. Take those
And
deliberate
you
steps.
have those, yeah. And I think for a long time, I think even talking to like younger girls now, I think there's just a sense of like, well, I don't even know. It's always worth it. It's always
Yeah.
worth it to try. It's always worth it to step out of that comfort zone. It's always worth it
Yes.
to
Hmm.
explore and to ask questions.
Yeah.
The outcomes are never determined in that context, right? But
Yeah.
if you have an idea, if you're curious about something, I want you to like go for
Go
it.
for it.
Um,
Yes.
I think the earlier you do that, the easier it gets to keep doing it. I think when
Yes.
you start a little bit later, it can be a bit harder because now you have all these mental
Yeah.
experiences
Like
and
go.
reminders and all those things, right? But when
Yeah.
you start young and you're able to really just like empower your curiosity about life,
Yeah.
I think the experiences you get are just so much richer and you're more likely to do it again. So, like talking
Yeah.
to that stranger that's sitting next to you that you think their bag is really interesting. Um,
Yeah.
like more of those kinds of things because
Yeah.
you really never know where that conversation will lead. And it's not even about, oh, what I'm going to get out
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like the encouragement that I can talk to strangers. So the next time I need to
Yeah.
engage someone, my social anxiety is lower.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if you're booking that solo trip for yourself,
Hmm.
it's knowing that like I can do this thing. And actually, I do enjoy being by myself. You know,
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
um, like I went to South Korea last year, and for me it was very eye opening because it was a trip that I had always been dreaming of in my head, and I've been watching
Yeah.
K dramas since I was a teenager,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, like one day I would love to go there,
Yes.
and it just seemed always like an idea.
Yeah.
And a
Hmm.
friend of mine had went the previous year, was like, book your ticket, like I've
Yeah.
booked mine, I'll
Yeah.
be there for a month, you could just
Yeah.
go. And so I
Yeah.
think when I pressed pay,
Pay.
I said, wow, wow, wow.
We really did this. Reality.
You know, I'm like, whoa. So I can really just decide to
Yeah.
do. And
And
honestly, I'm so grateful for friends. I don't know if any of them will watch this, but friends who
yeah.
I've really learned how to do this from, who are just like, you know what, this thing
Yeah.
is going to get done. And they
Yeah.
just do it. And they
And just
are
do
very
it.
inspirational to me because I'm just like,
Yeah.
my mindset isn't always think and do.
Mhm. Yeah.
I will think, I will ruminate, I will, just
Mhm.
like, wow, 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 But then I'm really like, think and do,
Yeah. Like,
right?
okay, now it's time to do. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I really, I think, encouraging younger girls to just, instead of, oh, okay, what would they think? Who would go
Mm,
with me?
mm,
Um, what will my parents say? What will my friends say? What will my husband or boyfriend? Mm,
mm.
what do you think? What do
Yeah,
you want? What
yeah,
makes you happy in Christ Jesus? I'm just going to add that part because I know people will
yeah,
come after me for saying, oh, we don't do self love here, whatever, whatever. But ultimately, you
yeah,
don't get to 50, or what am I even saying, 50, 30, and
yeah,
not recognize the life that you're living.
yeah.
People always talk about regret as a deathbed thing.
Mm, yeah,
But I think regret is often more costly when you're younger because you're just like, I had the capacity to do that.
yeah,
It's different when you don't have the capacity anymore, but you still have the capacity and you're not doing it.
yeah.
I think when I talk to young girls, I'm just like, Omo, if it comes to your mind,
Mm,
you're not being hurt, someone else is not being hurt, I don't
yeah.
want to hear you do it.
Hmm.
I don't want to hear that because you have the capacity to create this life that, and you can always change your mind. I think
Yeah.
something I'm trying to teach myself too is like, if I do something I don't like it, I
Hmm.
can stop.
Yeah. No one's
Like
going to beat you.
nobody's gonna beat me.
Nobody's going to die.
I think culturally we have this like sunken cost fallacy where it's like, well, I've put so
Yeah.
much time into this thing, or I've been
Yeah.
this person for so long.
Yeah.
How do I recoup
Navigate.
what I've invested? You can't recoup. It's gone.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
you cannot continue to keep digging.
Yeah.
Just stop adding and pivot,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So don't be too caught up in what you have already done. What are you going to do next?
Yeah.
So I think that was probably what I would say to my younger self. It's just like, babes, you got to do stuff like go
Yeah.
outside when you feel like it, honor yourself in that way. Like you don't have to go if you don't want to go. Your no is a full sentence.
Yeah.
Um, but there are so many things you want to do.
Yeah.
So do them,
Just do
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that was amazing. Just do it. You heard it here, guys. Just do it. Oh man,
don't say
that
Kome told you to do it, Sha, but still do.
is a
Still.
disclaimer for me. Say, don't come for me or don't look for me.
Just
I've
yeah.
told you the one that's on my ass. Please, with
Yeah.
wisdom, do it.
With wisdom and discernment, please
Mm-hmm.
do. Thank
As
you.
spirit leads, I beg. All right, so we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much, Kome. I'm so glad that we're able to do this. Thank you for sharing your
Mm,
wealth of wisdom with us and really just, as you said, being vulnerable and sharing your life lessons. Right? Sometimes they say, "Oh, people that write memoirs at like, very young, they're like, oh, what do you have?" I'm like, you know what? Even just for living the one day of life, if you can
facts.
reflect, you're someone who
Yeah.
can reflect and meditate, then definitely there are lessons that people can glean from you, right? So
Hmm.
thank you for sharing that with us on how to live a wonderful life. All right, so that is the end of today's episode. As I said, please do make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Thank you so much for listening to the Renew Your Mind podcast. I hope that this has been enriching and inspiring for you. Just before you head out, I'd like to talk about Woot Woot 4.0. That is the word of our testimony 4.0. So, this is a way that we gather testimonies anonymously from our audience and community members. So, if you would like to submit something, please click the link in the bio and I would love to hear of what God has been doing in your life. Thank you. Have a great one.